I am Peggy, and I have been camping from conception.
And at 12, I bought my first RV. We're attempting funnel cakes. We make no guarantees. Price is right. And it smells good. It smells like pancakes, so somebody better have bacon and syrup and yeah.
Well, we have other goody toppings to put on there.
Indeed. Seems to fry up pretty quickly.
Now, what's the name of this thing you're using
This
to
is
cook?
a fire disc, and so it's very portable. It heats up very quickly, and there's all kinds of things you can make in it, including apparently funnel cakes.
And you heat it with...
You can either use a 1 pound propane bottle or the 5 pound bottle.
Oh, okay.
And then you'll see under there's like a little box around the flame. That is the wind sensor. And that is a highly recommended. All right, I think I have a second one ready.
Okay. I got my plate right here.
All right. Make sure it's not all greasy. There we go.
All righty. Thank you very much. Hi, it's Lonnie with Crafty Traveler, and I'm here today with Tony and Peggy Barthel. And they own the business Stressless Camping.
Yep.
You can see by their shirts. I'm going to refer to my notes here. So, tell me about yourselves. Peggy?
Well, I am Peggy, and I have been camping from conception and camped my entire life with family, immediate family and extended family in the desert in Southern California, and with my ex-husband and with college. So I've really camped my entire life. Right out of high school, I actually worked for a camper manufacturer that doesn't exist anymore, Alpha Leisure. And then we took a bit of a hiatus and had a bed and breakfast for a while. And when we sold that, we said, it's time to camp. So we got our camper, and now I'm still camping.
Now, where do you live?
We live in Lake County,
Okay.
in Northern California.
And today we are at Clear Lake Campground in Clear Lake, California. Yeah. And I just finished their course, so I'll talk a little more at the end. Tony, how about you?
All right. Well, I was that nerdy little kid that when my parents would take us to the LA County Fair, I was excited because all the other kids would go on the rides and all of that, and there's RVs for sale, and that's where I would spend my time, either there or at the model trains. And so that was where I started really getting interested in RVs. And at 12, I bought my first RV. It was a Tonka Winnebago, and I still have it. And so then ultimately the job we had before we started Stressless Camping was I worked at an RV dealership, and it was a small enough dealership that I did both sales and I managed the warranties. And I kept seeing the same questions asked over and over and over, and people with the same issues over and over and over. And I thought, gosh, I really wish there was one place where you could go and just find the answers to those questions. And thus,
So we decided to be that place.
yeah.
Okay. Next question. You talked about your occupations a little bit, and you said that the reason you started Stressless Camping was to answer people's questions, common questions. What are a couple of those common questions?
Oh, a lot of them involve towing is a big question. Tanks are a big question. Electrical is something that seems to confuse people. So just, people are used to what they're used to at their house, but they're not, it doesn't seem to translate well into the RV. It's somewhat confusing for people, and so we try to demystify and simplify a lot of that. Just the basic systems of an RV.
Fabulous, fabulous. And so talk about your website, and you said you have a podcast.
So our website is www.stresslesscamping.com, and we started that in February of 2018. We were on a road trip, and this was before the podcast while we both still were working, and said, maybe we should put some of this stuff out there on the internet, so at least we have a place we can send people when they have questions. And we were with some friends, and we said, what would we call it? What would we call it? And we like to come up with fun names, and the friend Leanne that was actually with us said, well, less stress, stress less. And we're like, that's it.
There you go.
So we're
Yeah.
driving down the highway. I go on the phone app where we buy our domain names. I bought the domain name, and we started Stressless Camping website then. And then in July of 2019, we started a podcast. And so that we do a weekly podcast. It comes out every Thursday morning, and it's a similar concept. We try to find topics that people have questions about, and for newer campers or people who want to camp and they're not sure how their first steps would go, and so we answer those questions every week.
Fabulous. You'll have to excuse, we're in the campground and there are people driving
people
around, so you're going to hear motor and then you're going to hear traffic noise too. So we'll try and talk loud. Okay. Anything to add on that, Tony?
No, it's that's the story.
Okay. And the podcast is also Stressless Camping?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you can find everything at stresslesscamping.com. I mean, I could point you to all these different links where things specifically are, but we, again, just like we're trying to simplify the RV experience, we're trying to simplify how to find the answers too. So you go there and that will point you to where
Right.
specific
But
things
if you
are.
already are a podcast listener and have your favorite podcatcher, then Stressless Camping is the way to find it.
Yep.
Okay.
Just think about finding some stressless camping, and whatever your podcast catcher is, you should find us.
Okay, and then your Facebook?
And we're there too. We have a group and a page,
Okay.
and Instagram and Twitter, and all the
All
those
good
usual
places.
suspects
All
of
those good
YouTube,
things.
and on and on and on.
Okay, so you do have a YouTube channel that you're going to start promoting a little more.
Yeah,
we
we've-
do. We
yeah,
have a
we've-
few videos on our YouTube channel. We haven't been very active on it, but as time goes by and we see the popularity of it, and I think, this would be easy to explain if I had that opportunity to be visual and audio at the same time. So we're starting to really kind of list the things that we want to put on video. We've done a couple, and we're getting ready to ramp up that.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Just had some Canadian geese go by.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right on Cache Creek here. I mean, this campground is right on the water, and so this morning we've already seen ducks, those geese, otters. So it's
Yeah, and I'll put the link to Cache Creek Campground at the bottom. And also I'm doing a review of Cache Creek Campground, so that will be on above. So, well, just in my perspective, this was my first time to come camping alone. Yay! Doing everything.
You should be staying for the next few days. It's an all women's camp.
I
I'm being
understand
kicked
that.
out, ladies and gentlemen, because of my plumbing. But Peggy's staying.
Yes,
Stay
and
right
if I'd
here.
have known, I might have.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I live an hour and a half away, and there's a few hills and turns, and I drove my 24-foot passport trailer here alone and set it up with their help and suggestions, but mostly physically did it myself. And they're going to help me hook up, and so I can get on the road also. This course was fabulous. I've camped all my life as well, but my father or my husband took care of the outside of the RV and the truck, and I took care of the inside. Well, I have to do both this time around. And I'm kind of proud of myself for doing what I've done. And I've already got a bunch of friends that say, let's go camping. They have RVs. And I had a message from a friend of mine that got a new Class C. And I suggested she talk to Peggy. And you have a lot of women clients, I understand.
Yeah, and we also provide some content to Janine and Girl Camper. And so, yeah, we are very supportive of solo women travelers.
Absolutely.
And there are some podcast episodes that we have that were really specifically geared towards them, including one on personal safety and several others. I mean, generally the topics are universal, but there are a few that are based on our experience with talking to Janine and Girl Campers in general that are of particular interest to solo female travelers, and so we try to help provide those answers as well.
But you help everybody.
We
Yeah,
do.
I mean, we want to support anybody who wants to enjoy this beautiful way to see the country, but you know, if you have a question or if there's something of concern to people, that's what we try to find those and find the best solution. And sometimes on our podcast, we're very fortunate to get these fantastic guests. Like we talked to the head of Travel Trailer Tires for Goodyear, for example, or we've talked to Kent Rawlings, who is like a renowned cast iron chef guy. He has a great YouTube channel, Cowboy Kent Rawlings. And so we've been very fortunate to get these really terrific people to talk to as well. And that's been a highlight, meeting some of these people who I have a great deal of admiration for, and getting to spend some time with them.
That's wonderful. That's why I'm going to be tuning in pretty soon. So, well, anything else you want to add? Look up stresslesscamping.com.
Stresslesscamping.com.
Even if you think you know everything about it, take their course.
Don't try to find a mistake and let us know about it.
Yeah. Yes. Because,
I mean, I don't mean just try, because you'll probably find one.
well, nobody's perfect, you know.
No,
but,
absolutely not.
But I learned so much from their one-day course. And they say it was one day because there was only another couple, but you have a group coming up where you said you're going to have
There's
30.
30
We'll have
people.
30, we'll have 30 people in a course coming up. That's a kind of a private event, and a lot of women. And so it will be really different for us. We have had classes of
Wave to
6
the
or 8.
drone. We got a drone.
maybe 6 or 8 people. And so the dynamic of 30 people at one time will be very interesting
Yeah,
for us.
that will be.
Yeah, it'll be a whole different. What we've tried to do with this class is limited to 4 to 6 people, because that way, if you say, "Hey, how is like?" We just had a question on that RV that's leaving now, and they said, "What is this? How does this work?"
So we
And
get up
can-
and walk over there and
Yeah.
take a field trip during the class.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's designed so that I think if you touch something or it's yours, you're going to absorb something better than saying, like saying all water heaters do this. Well, no, all water heaters aren't that. And so we actually went to the water heaters and the refrigerators and all, and opened the panel and looked at the specific ones. So
Yeah, you looked at mine. You opened mine up, and I'd never seen the inside of the water heater or the refrigerator before.
And you have you have a tube that I hadn't seen, a drain tube. All the gas absorption fridges have a drain provision, and there were 3 very different ones at this class. There's ours, which is a typical drain tube that comes out the vent. Then yours actually has a specific provision where it's fitted into the door, and Greg's is actually plumb to the ground, which I thought, that's
Yeah,
slick.
yeah. So every trailer, camper, RV has some little difference.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
of similarities, and there's a lot of, there's like only a few manufacturers of a stove or of a water heater. So those are going to tend to be the same, but the way different manufacturers deal with them or plumb them can be very different.
Yeah.
Good, good. Well, thank you so much. It's
Thank
a pleasure
you.
to meet
Thank
both
you.
of you and
Yeah.
come to your class. And I will be sending out the phrases to
Oh,
all
Terrific.
my
Thank
friends
you.
that have RVs, and maybe you and I will see each other on a camp
I
out
hope so.
sometime. And we'll see each other on the road.
For
I
sure.
look forward to that, and it's been a pleasure spending time with you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you're with Stressless Camping, stay crafty.